Hey everybody, Mike Lieberman and Eric Kalis here, Thursday, April 30th for On the Horizon. Uh, just as an FYI, Facebook live stream is trying to get started. If I appear distracted, I may be attempting to just make a couple of the extra clicks that are required to put us live on Facebook. So awesome. Thanks for joining us. We've really been enjoying the show, so I hope you guys are too. Today, our topic is uh, in line with the digital transformation theme we've been talking about all along. How do we make our businesses remarkable? And how do we make them remarkable from a digital perspective? So Eric's going to talk a little bit about what it means to be remarkable, because that's a very specific thing that we choose that language very selectively when we talk to clients. So he's going to talk to you a little bit about that. We'll give you some examples of some digital remarkability, and then we'll take it from there.
All right. So, being remarkable is the essence of a good messaging strategy. If you have nothing interesting to say about your business, please do not spend any money on marketing, because you're just going to look like everybody else. And when given three choices of businesses that you would like to do business with, if they all look exactly the same, which one do you choose? And the answer is the cheapest one. And I'm sure nobody in our audience this morning wants to be the lowest cost provider in their industry. So how do we break out so that we can position ourselves as the premium choice and also get the premium price? And that comes down to the concept of differentiation, standing out amongst others. Now, I'll start today's conversation with a little story by Seth Godin. He wrote the book called The Purple Cow. And the Purple Cow concept is something like this. If we decided to blow off today's workshop and we decided to go for a ride in the country, soon we'd start to see some cows. One brown cow, another brown cow. And before you know it, we don't even notice the cows anymore, because there's nothing that interesting about just another brown cow. But then we come around the bend and we see a purple cow. What would we do? Stop, jump out, take pictures, put them on social. Mike's texting everybody he knows. I'm on the phone with my mom. Mom, you're not going to believe it. There's a purple cow in the middle of this field. Get over here. And before you know it, there's 1,000 people standing outside the fence looking at this remarkable purple cow. Well, that's your job as leaders of your companies, is to position yourselves as the obvious choice to do business with. By the way, Mike, when someone says call Square 2 Marketing, they're awesome, how much does that cost us?
$0.
And I'm sure that fits our budget. So they're the best kinds of leads. They come with a baked-in testimonial, and they're free. And this is where really understanding about differentiation in the story you tell is so critical. It's even more critical now because I can't wow someone with my beautiful facility and take them out for a lobster lunch and wine and dine them. I have to think about it in terms of digital communication. So how do you figure out how to be remarkable? Well, the first thing is that most people in the audience today are probably thinking, is my company actually remarkable? And if you've been in business more than 2 or 3 years, you are doing remarkable things. The problem is most companies stink at storytelling. So how do you develop a remarkable story? There's a couple of steps I wanted to get you thinking about today. The first one is to truly understand your target market, right? Who are the people that you want to market to? And most importantly, what pains and problems do they have that you're trying to solve through your services or products? When you understand their pains or problems, now it's easy to match up your solutions to those pains and problems, right? I have a foot of water in my basement. My pain is it's an emergency. I need a plumber. Very simple. Now, there's a lot of plumbers out there in everybody's hometown. Which one do you choose? Well, when I go to the plumber's website, who I'm looking to hire, and it says, we've been in business 23 years, we're family owned and operated, great. But then when I go to the other plumber's website and it says, water in your basement, ? Use our rapid response system to get it fixed in 59 minutes or less. I'm like, whoa, these people understand my problem. Now, it's not that the first plumber can't get out there in 59 minutes, but he's talking about himself and he's not talking about the prospects. Mike, how many boys you have over there?
Well, I usually have 2, but I only have 1 now.
If I asked you about Sam and Jeremy, you could talk about those pups all day, right?
I sure could.
Sure. Second I start talking about my kids, Mike's polite for a minute or two, and then he kind of zones out because now it's not about Mike anymore. Now it's about Eric. And it's the same thing with marketing. We tend to talk about ourselves, our pictures on our website of our 20 employees waving in front of our building. Well, that's great, and that's a great validation point, but it's not the lead story. The lead story is I can help you with a foot of water in your basement. So when you go through that process, you want to not only identify the solutions, but push yourself a little bit to think about things in a more aggressive terms. How do I tell a more aggressive story that makes someone visiting my website say, yes, these are the guys I've been looking for? And that's the art of being remarkable. So we want to take you through some of the steps of being remarkable, especially on a digital buying journey. But I thought I'd start out with one of my favorite stories. Here in Philadelphia, there used to be a fabulous company called CD Baby. And CD Baby was pre-digital downloads of music. They actually sent you the traditional CDs in UPS or US Postal Service. So you would go onto their website, you would pick a couple of CDs, you would buy them, and then they would ship them to you. Pretty standard business. But they took the time to make sure that every one of their touch points along the way was truly remarkable. I'll give you one of my favorites, the shipping notification. All of us have ordered things online, and you know what that traditional shipping notification looks like. Hey, Mike, your order has shipped. Here's your tracking number. Good luck. There's nothing wrong with that. It's providing the information that I need to know that my order shipped and that I can track it. But here's what CD Baby did. They took it the extra step. They used a little bit of creative copywriting to make their shipping notification remarkable. And it went something like this. Dear Mike, thank you so much for trusting CD Baby with your order. We're so excited that you chose one of our staff favorites. Your CD, Frank Sinatra's Greatest Hits, was shipped today via US Postal Service number 355X, blah, blah, blah. New paragraph. We're very concerned about the shipment that we've sent you. Please notify us immediately when it has arrived. We are very concerned, love the team at CD Baby. And the reason that they've done that is because what's the first thing you do when you get a funny shipping notification like that? You send it to your friends, ha, 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 you post it online, look at this company, they're hilarious. And for the extra hour or so they took in creating an interesting shipping notification, they are now able to spread their word. And that's just one of the many touch points that you have in ordering. Going to the website, choosing your products, reading user reviews, placing your actual order without friction, knowing that it's coming in a short or rather than long period of time, tracking it along the way, and even a follow-up after it's arrived. Those are all the touch points when you're doing placing an order in a digital atmosphere, and each one of those touch points is an opportunity to be remarkable. I've done a lot of talking so far, Mike. Let me throw it over to you for some comments and ideas.
Yeah, so that's a really good foundation. I'm going to give you guys a couple of homework assignments today because we all have a little bit of extra time on our hands. And if you really want to understand this and how to apply this in your business, and I'm going to highly recommend two books for you right now. The king of being remarkable is Seth Godin. And he's a very popular marketing writer. He's been writing and leading the charge around being remarkable. And he's actually the creator of the Purple Cow story. So I highly recommend you get the book Purple Cow. It kind of changed the way Eric and I think about marketing many, many, many years ago and laid in this platform for this idea of helping companies be remarkable. The other one that I'm also going to recommend you read is Free Prize Inside, because it takes the concept of remarkable a little bit further and gives you some really good examples of how to operationalize being remarkable. So, you know, some of the stories that Eric is talking about are kind of like big business related changes that you need to think about. Someone's chatting with us. The last title was Free Prize Inside. Sorry, I talk a little fast sometimes. Also a Seth Godin book. So, you know, if I'm a plumber and I typically get out to you whenever I can, or a lot of us are used to these windows, so I'll be there between 11 and 2, which is not super convenient for the customer, but very convenient for the plumber. Saying you're going to get out in 59 minutes, that could be scary to someone who's running a plumbing operation. But that, to figure out how to deploy one of your plumbers in 59 minutes is going to be the difference between being remarkable or not. We also talk to clients a lot about the difference between differentiation and being remarkable. And there's actually a new client kickoff meeting going on right now with a new Square 2 client. And they're talking to our new client about what makes them special. And since we've done this so many times, I already know what the answers are going to be. Our people are great. Our products are great. we've been in business for a really long time, we have more inventory than anyone else, like all those things that are really good and really important, but they don't make you remarkable. Because the definition of remarkable is something that only you can say about your business. If someone else can say it or someone else can say something similar, it's just not remarkable. It's still good and might be things that you talk about, but it's not as aggressive enough to make your business remarkable. This is really about challenging you to do things that no one else in your industry is doing. Like in our case, we do 6 months of work in 30 days, okay? That's a remarkable service we provide. We will guarantee you the results we agreed to. That's something that no one else in our industry can do. And that took some effort on our part to deliver both of those things, but they are truly remarkable aspects of our business. So that's one aspect of being remarkable. Sometimes it can be hard, and sometimes it really has to do with operational delivery of the business. But to Eric's other point, the example of the CD Baby email, there are many, many, many places where you're touching your customers and prospects that you can also make those experiences remarkable. And yes, it's about the emails, but it could be about your bill or your invoice. It could be about the communication that the salespeople are using. It could be about your website and how it talks to your prospects. It could be about the follow-up emails that come after someone converts on your website. So the practice we would like to encourage you guys to consider now, especially when we're inside a little more and less distracted in certain ways with what's going on in our businesses, take the time to look at your entire business and identify every single time your business touches your prospect or customer, right? And that could be the follow-up email that the accounting person sends to try to collect an invoice that's outstanding. Like, there are so many of these touches. How do you welcome customers into your fold? When someone says, yes, I'm going to work with you, what happens after they sign your contract or your agreement or purchase a product from you the very first time? Like, what happens next can be very important, because that's starting to set the tone of what that customer experience is going to be like. You have to identify every single one of those touch points. Now, yesterday we kind of teased today's segment a little bit with a concept we called little wows. That's what we're talking about. Try to instill as many of these little wows as possible along all those touch points, and what you'll quickly find is that your prospects and customers are having a remarkable experience with your company. And I'll give you a really good example of this that got us thinking many, many years ago. A lot of us have been to Disney World or Disney properties. And when we stay in those Disney hotels, you know that there's a little stuffed Mickey Mouse that comes in every single room on every single Disney property. And Disney, by the way, teaches how to be remarkable, and they teach this concept of wow and little wows. And what they've done is actually empowered their entire team to come up with these little wows. And by the way, this is an excellent example of how to figure these out. They don't always come from the C-level of our businesses. They most times come from the people who are out on the street executing in front of our customers the most frequently. So what they said to the cleaning crew was, the housekeeping staff, how do we make the in-room experience just as magical as the experience they get when they go to the parks? Because, you know, Disney's theme is magic, right? So they're obviously having a magical experience when they're in the parks. How do they have a magical experience in the room? So what the housekeeping crew came up with was, let's take those little stuffed Mickey Mouses, and every time we clean the room at the end of the day, we will put Mickey in a different part of the room, having a different experience in the room. So when the family comes back from their day at the park, Mickey appears to be alive. So when you come back the first night, Mickey is tucked in with his feet under the bed, getting ready for bed. When you come back the next night, Mickey is in the shower, allegedly having a shower, waiting for you to come back. And because they know that the average stay at a Disney property is 2 to 3 days, they know that the last day they have Mickey at the window kind of going like this, because honestly, like, that's what do they want you to do with that stuff? They want you to buy it, right? So if Mickey is alive and having this experience while I'm at the park, I can't leave him there. He has to come home with the family back to Des Moines, Iowa, or wherever they're coming from. This is an excellent example that the housekeeping crew came up with to extend their brand into the room, give those visitors a remarkable experience, sell a couple of extra Mickey Mouse toys, and really continue that experience of, wow, this was a great vacation. We have to come back to a Disney property. So that's a really good example of how you can take something innocuous like the stuffed animal that's in the, sitting in the two glasses in the ice box and the ice bucket, and really give people in your property a remarkable experience. And I could talk all day about the remarkable experiences you have at Disney, from showing up at the hotel and having someone offer you a drink after you traveled for many hours to get there. You're so happy to be there when they bring you that drink. We've all had that experience. We are just so happy that someone shows up and gives us a refreshment as we're trying to check into the hotel. There are many, many, many examples of that, but I'll let Eric continue the story. But those are some examples of how we really have to think about all the touch points in our business to try to make it as remarkable as possible.
Yeah, you touched on it in a good way, right? You're thirsty from your long travel. That's a pain or a problem. The team got together at Disney and said, how can we solve this in a remarkable way? It's a similar example that Disney used with waiting online. Nobody likes to wait online. The kids are all rammy and they're like running around. Oh, let's put some flat screen TVs up so that they can be distracted by other Disney content. Oh, it's hot out. Let's put little misters on the line so that all the kids like to go through the little misters and cool off. Those are affordable things that really make every touch point remarkable. So now even standing in line before you go on the ride is remarkable. And that's what we want to help you guys think about when it comes to a digital transformation. Now, it's a little bit harder because it's obvious to see someone standing online and sweating. It's not as easy when someone's at their office or in their home trying to do business with you and you're trying to make it remarkable. So you have to really lean on your communication, number one. Number two, you really have to lean on the little free prizes inside. So we touched on this, I think, the first week. Along our sales process, there are two physical packages that are sent out from Square 2 Marketing in the sales process. The first one is a little jar of marshmallow fluff for 99 cents that comes with a handwritten note from Mike and me that says, thank you so much for reaching out to speak with us. We promise this is the last fluff you'll ever get from us. So it's affordable, it's a surprise when it arrives, and it shows a bit of creativity, and we're a marketing firm. So now I can't tell you how many people have said, oh my goodness, I haven't seen marshmallow fluff in years. This was so creative. Meanwhile, it costs 99 cents. The second one is that if someone qualifies in and we want to then continue through the sales process with them, we send them copies of our books. Free gift, little note from us. Hey, we hope you understand the methodology behind what we're recommending. Not only is that a nice touch point in the process, but it differentiates us from other marketing firms that maybe didn't take the time to write a book. Now, we have the books already. Once again, you have a 50-cent box and a couple of bucks to UPS it. But these little touch points along the way where you're mixing in digital conversation with physical activity obviously is making for a much richer sales process. So what can you do? You can send out free samples. You could have a really great video that you send out to people when they reach out to you or buy from you. You could have your team come up with all sorts of ideas of interesting touch points. You can talk about your voice and tone. Are we a funny company? Are we a serious company? Are we a company that likes to be historic and vintage? All of those things can be wound into your communication to really make it remarkable. I'll give you a quick example. You know, Warby Parker, the hot company that provides eyewear, was the first one to come out with the solution that it's a pain in the butt to go pick out glasses and stand in line and then wait for your glasses. So what did they do? They said, look, we know you're busy. Go to our website, pick out 5 frames you like. We'll ship it to you free of charge. Try them on at home. Pick one that you like. Send the rest back in a prepaid shipping box. And we'll do business that way because we understand that maybe going to pick out eyeglasses isn't the easiest thing to do. That little change in their standard operating procedure completely separated them from all optical options. And it costs a little bit more, but people talk about it like crazy. Hey, look at these glasses. I got them at Warby Parker. They shipped them to my house to try them on.
My wife and son just did that a couple of days ago. It was a whole evening activity. Opening the box, trying the glasses on, which one do you like better? It was actually a lot of fun, honestly. And they did figure out how to make that whole experience fun, easy, and enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, think about what you just said. We had such an evening activity trying on eyeglasses. If you thought about it 20 years ago, you'd be like, what the heck are you talking about? Yeah. Anyway, Mike, we're at the end of our time here. I hope you guys have some real starters to thinking about how to position your company as remarkable. Don't be overwhelmed. come up with one or two touch points, work on them, go deep on those, and then next quarter you could do two more. But remember, your competition is working on eating your lunch, and this is the time where you really should be starting to differentiate your company on a digital platform.
Yeah, and to wrap up, this is something you got to do every day. You know, you don't spend a couple days trying to be remarkable and forget about it for a couple months. It should be in your company's DNA. You should always be looking at what you're doing and find those little areas that can be improved. And if you do a little bit every day or do a little bit every week, you'll get there pretty quickly. Thanks so much for joining us. We really love doing it. We'll see you again here tomorrow morning, and have a great day. Thank you so much.